Hi, I'm Donna. Welcome to lesson 5 of this Introduction to Yoga course. We're going to move quickly through some of the postures we've been working on, but there'll be a couple of new ones. We're going to focus on upper back in this practice. So a chair and a couple of blankets will be really useful for that. So let's get started. We're going to take one blanket. If you've got this is quite a thin blanket, so maybe I'll pack up 2. But the higher you put support under your body for a back bend, then the stronger the back bend's going to be. So if you're a little vulnerable in your back, then just have a nice little support. So it could be a thin blanket or even a rolled up towel. I'm going to put that across here. And I want it to be under my shoulder blades. So if you feel behind you, and you move your other arm, you'll feel where your shoulder blades are. You want them supported on your blanket. And if I put my head down and it's squashing the back of the neck, I can feel that the back of the neck is wrinkled, but the front of the neck is stretched, then your support is a little bit too high. Or you could take a pillow or a block and put that underneath your head. So it's really important that you keep the front and back of your neck even length. Good. And if you stretched your arms straight out to the side, they're over the top of that support. So they're lining up with that support. So just check in that you feel like you've got that in the right spot. So it's not under your middle back. It's not under your lower back. Just the shoulder blades. We've got the legs bent. So if it feels too strong in your back, you need a lower support. All right, and then we're going to reach the arms overhead. And you're just checking in that you've definitely got the front and back of your neck even in length. Noticing how your lower back feels. And some people might even like to take their legs down straight. Only do that if it feels fine for your lower back. And we're going to take long, even breaths. Inhalation and exhalation. Relaxing your neck, relaxing your throat. Looking for an evenness in both shoulders. So your palms are facing, stretch out through your fingers. Good, and then gently bending your legs and bending your arms. And bring the feeling in your body of that thoracic spine, the spine behind your lungs. Bring that feeling with you, even though you're going to roll off your equipment to the right. Good, and take that out from underneath. Lay back down on your mat. Stretch your arms overhead again. Stretch your legs out straight if that's comfortable for your lower back. Otherwise, feet are hip width, legs parallel. Sense the thoracic spine, the spine behind your heart and your lungs, lifting a little away from the floor. Enjoying the depth and length of the breath. You might be able to feel your ribs moving really thoroughly with each breath. The arms overhead. Good, and then we're going to bring that feeling in your middle or your upper back, I should say. And arms in, legs in, roll carefully to your right side. sit into a kneeling position at the back of your mat. And last week we looked at equipment that you need to keep your knees comfortable when you're kneeling. So first we're going to take forward virasana. So put your knees out wide, your big toes touching, and have your sit bones as close to your heels or the saddle of the feet as you can. And we're going to stretch the arms forward. Bringing your chest and your forehead a little closer to the floor. This posture is going to stretch along the lower back. So just noticing how that feels. Let's see if you can ease your thoracic spine forward a little more. Feel really broad between your shoulder blades, broad between your collarbones. Good. And then you're going to lift up and bring the knees so they're hip width. Walk your hands right to the front of the mat. And then we're going to stretch the chest towards the floor again. Keep your shoulders wide. And especially if you've had an injury with your shoulder, you want to listen to how your body has recovered, how far you need to stretch here. But we want to lengthen the armpits. Have a feeling of space around your heart, your chest. And let the chest open towards the floor. Have your knees back far enough. You might need to wiggle them back a little bit more so you can really get that big feeling of stretch in your armpits and your chest. You will feel the thoracic spine moving forward. Breathe deeply into that part of your body. Taking notice of where the chest lengthens, the armpits lengthen. Good. And then lifting up and walk your hands back so that you're in an all fours position for your cat stretch. Wide even spaces between your fingers. Press the fingerprints, the base of the index fingers, and arch your spine up. And arch your spine down. And we'll try to have awareness all the way along the spine. So that upper back, you can really stretch between your shoulder blades when you arch up. Really stretch that part of your spine forward. So in your own time, you might like to move really slowly and wriggle around or play a little with your movement either side of your spine. Keep breathing. Good. And then we're going to finish off holding the forward position. So we're arching the lower back down, the thoracic spine forward, lift your breastbone. Good, and tuck your toes under and lift your knees off the floor, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. You can keep your knees bent, but see if you can bring your chest a little closer to the front of the legs. Feel really wide between your shoulder blades, really wide between the collarbones, so your neck can just lengthen with gravity. Good, press your fingerprints, the base of your index fingers. Good, and we're going to bend the knees even more and lift the sit bones really high. Good, and then press both heels down towards the floor. Breathe deeply. Keep your neck relaxed, so make sure you're not trying to hold your head up. Back of the neck should feel like it's lengthening. Lift your sit bones again, lift your kneecaps, lift your quadriceps. Nicely done. And then we're going to walk slowly forward and see if you can take little steps and press your heel right down to the floor if you can. You're going to keep walking forward, and at some point you're going to run out of room depending on your legs. And when you run out of room, you're going to roll up. So bend your knees to do that. You're going to sweep your arms out to the side and lift your chest and come all the way up to standing. And coming into Tadasana, your mountain pose. And you're going to close your eyes and step your feet together. Just find your feet. What does that mean? Send your awareness into your feet, across the balls of the feet, the heels. Stretch out your toes, nice and long and straight. Lift the arches of your feet. And when you send your awareness into your feet like that, you use your feedback to make some adjustments, to use your feet more effectively. Then you find the floor, the foundation, the earth. And that's the foundation of your posture, your mountain. So we're going to lift from there. Lift the kneecaps, the quadriceps, the front of the hips. And when you do that strong work in the front of the legs, feel how the spine balances a little more effectively over the sacrum, over the heels, so that you can now lengthen your spine, lift your breastbone. Bring that part of your spine we've been working on, the thoracic spine, a little further forward so you feel the lift of the breastbone, almost up to the sky. Back of the neck is long, top of the head reaches to the sky. We're going to roll the upper arms out, make the chest even wider, more spacious, and palms face the sides of the legs. Breathe deeply in a way that feels so satisfying. Mountain, Tadasana. Nice work. And now we're going to use the chair. So you can open your eyes and bring that to the front of your mat. Put all four legs on your mat if you've got a slippery floor so the chair doesn't take off. All right. We're going to stand with feet together. Lift your arms, look up. And as you exhale, we're going to come into a supported Uttanasana, so standing forward bend. And in Uttanasana, you can rest your hands on the seat of the chair. Maybe you just want to reach the back of the chair. But what we're aiming for is the sit bones over the heels. So often we'll lean back, trying to take the stretch out of the legs. We want that stretch. So reaching forward. Good. And you might be able to rest your head down here. And taking notice of the stretch in your legs, the sensation in your body. So if it hurts your legs to have them really straight, or hurts your knees, I should say, bend them a little bit, but try to keep your knees facing forward. Good. And if you can have your legs straight, really lift your kneecaps and your sit bones. And just let your upper body relax a little. If you really don't need the chair here, you can put your hands on the floor and it's leaning forward. But if you're doing a beginner's course in yoga, I'm guessing the chair might make it really much more enjoyable. Breathe deeply. Feel satisfied with your breath. That's good. Now we're going to lift up so you can put your hands up onto the chair. Put your right foot forward, and you might even put your toes in underneath the chair so you've got a big enough distance. We're going to step the left foot back. So we'll use the chair for balance to start with so that you can get your feet hip width distance apart from side to side. Okay, so that nice big stretch though from front to back, as big as you can. And we're going to bend that front knee so your knee is over your heel, not over your toes. Okay, so it would be over your toes. So make sure you've got that nice 90 degrees. Good. The back foot, we're going to keep them parallel, legs parallel to start with, and you're going to get an even stretch either side of the Achilles tendon, that tendon in the back of the ankle, as you press your heel down. All right. Now, if you feel wobbly, you can stay holding onto your chair, but you've got to try and lift your breastbone and draw that part of your spine we've been working on forward. Okay. But if you feel okay in your balance, so nice strong legs, trust your legs, you can bring your hands up onto your front knee. And we're going to keep lifting the torso, lifting the belly, lifting the breastbone, pressing the back heel and lengthening the front of the left thigh. Good. And if you really, really have your balance, you can try taking your arms up and look up. This is Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. So feel that proud stance. Trust your legs, the groundedness of the feet, the lengthening of the spine. Draw the thoracic spine forward and breathe deeply. Don't forget to breathe in and out through your nose. Neck is long and relaxed. Good, and then we're going to release, and your chair's there to help you with your balance as you change sides. So we're going to step the right foot back. Give yourself a little stretch by taking the hips back, lift the kneecaps, lift the quadriceps. Good, and then left foot forward. So we want to sort of get the same distance on the second side. Set up so your feet are about hip width distance from side to side. Good, and then really let the feet do the work. So keep the front foot nice and wide, toes are long, press your back heel. See how you go with your balance. You might be able to lift up and take your hands onto your knee. And if you can do that, press down through the arms so you can lift your breastbone. Bring the thoracic spine forward so you feel the chest widen. Breathe deeply. Try to lengthen the lower back. So don't just let the belly spill forward and squash your lower back. Lift the front of the right thigh here. Lengthen the lower back as you lengthen the whole spine. Widen the chest. Good, and if you really have your balance, so feel very firm in your legs, we're going to reach the arms up by the ears and look up. So remember, we're not just squashing the back, we're really lifting the front of the right thigh, the front of the right hip, standing steadfast into the feet and the legs, lengthening the spine, feeling the depth of the breath in your body. Good work. And then bringing the hands back onto your chair. And this time you're going to step your right foot forward. So just make sure you're not going to bang your knee. It's obvious, isn't it? And Uttanasana. Uttanasana, we have the sit bones directly over the heels. You can be a little bit playful with your spine. Might like to wiggle your hips from side to side. But then find center, find your length. If your spine feels like it's making a rainbow shape, bend your knees and see if you can reach the lower back forward. Reach your thoracic spine further forward. And then you might try straightening your legs again or just one at a time. But focusing on the spine here. Trusting your feet, your legs, and the depth of the breath. Good, and then we're going to roll all the way up. Bring your arms up. Look up. And as you exhale, Tadasana. Good. All right, we're going to try Uttanasana without the chair. So just take that off and with a little bit of a difference here. So we'll take the arms up. As you exhale, bend your knees and find where you reach to. So it might be the floor, might be your legs. Okay, but do bend your knees enough so you can make your valley shape with your spine rather than a rainbow shape. So looking for your valley shape. Good. And then reach the belly forward as far as you can. Reach the back of the neck nice and long. So reach to where you can. Great. You're going to bring your right hand onto your sacrum and your left hand across to the outside of your right leg or your right foot and turn your ribs. We're going to look up at the ceiling. Breathe. Some people might be able to reach the right arm up. If that's too strong for your shoulder, then just keep it onto your sacrum. Good, and then we're going to release and come back to center. Just re-establish that valley shape, reach the breastbone forward. And then take your right hand to the outside of your left leg or your left foot. Take your left hand onto your sacrum, turn your ribs. Try to lift the heart up towards the ceiling. Take the left shoulder back, draw the shoulder blades back and press them forward against the ribs. We're trying to lift the ribs forward. Take your left arm straight up to the ceiling if that feels okay. A little bit extra stretch. I've got the knees a little bit bent if you need to. Long, even inhalation, exhalation. We're going to release. Good, and then bend your knees and roll all the way up, arms up. Go. Good, and as you exhale. Tadasana Mountain. Great. So, the chair again. Stand in front of your chair. We'll have the feet together. Inhale, arms up. As you exhale, put your hands onto the seat of the chair. We're going to step the left foot back, face it forward, so it's parallel to the edges of the mat, and the right foot forward. So left foot back, right foot forward. And straight legs. Have a big enough distance so you can get your back heel down onto the floor. And your feet are about hip width distance from side to side. Good. So really strong legs. We're going to widen across the balls of the feet. Lengthen the toes. Just reach back with your right hand. Feel your sacrum. And we're trying not to twist, but rather to keep the hips, the pelvis level to the floor, to the front edge of the chair or the mat. Good. And then we're going to reach that thoracic part of the spine forward. So draw the shoulder blades forward. And even though there's an uncomfortableness in the stretch of the legs, in the trying to reach, in the trying something new, we're almost trying to bring that feeling that you did when you lay back over the blankets into this posture, that support here that's coming from your awareness, your breath, your ability to ease tension when you find it. Good. You might be able to reach a little further. We're going to lift the belly, lift the breastbone, and really try and reach the top of the head towards the back of the chair, or some people might be heading towards the seat of the chair. You just keep bending your elbows. But we don't want to do that at the expense of our good posture in our back, so not reaching and making a rainbow. Try to keep your valley shape. And if you reach your head all the way down to the chair, you can take a little rest for a moment. Enjoying the satisfaction of the breath. Good, and then we're going to lift up. Step your right foot back. Give yourself a stretch. So take the hips back, open the armpits, the chest, lift the kneecaps, the quadriceps, the sit bones. Good, and then step the left foot forward. So setting up your feet so your balance is going to be good. We're going to take hip width distance for the feet, lift the kneecaps, lift the quadriceps. Good. And find the valley shape for your spine. Think about your shoulder blades. They're so mobile. We want to put them flat against the back ribs and reach them forward, lift the breastbone. Good. Trusting your feet, the balls of the feet broad, stretch your toes nice and straight. Don't grip them into the mat, lift the kneecaps. Find the hips level to the floor. Look for that feeling of support behind the shoulder blades, your thoracic spine. See if you can keep reaching that forward as the chest widens. And I'm going to try to reach forward a little more by lifting the belly, lifting the breastbone, and reaching top of the head towards the back of the chair. Maybe you're reaching so far forward, you're reaching the seat of the chair, but remember, we're trying to look after that shape in our spine. Not going for reaching the seat of the chair if it means that you lose the forward movement of your spine. The valley shape. Good, and then lifting your breastbone again as you lift up. Good, and we'll take the left foot back. Just stretch both legs again. Lift the kneecaps, lift the quadriceps, lift the sit bones. Good, and then walking forward. And rolling up. Arms out, look up. Good, and as you exhale, Tadasana. Nice work. You don't need your chair now. And come to stand in the middle of the mat, facing forward. Feet together. Find your mountain pose, your foundation, the strength in the front of your legs, the balance of your spine, and then lengthen your spine. So we're bringing awareness to that top part of the spine. Draw the shoulder blades down. Feel the chest widen. Lift the breastbone, that bony plate that protects your heart in front of your lungs. Upper arms roll out, palms in. Sides of the neck long. Front and back of the neck even. Relaxed at the base of your skull. Good. Bring your hands in front of your heart. And we're going to step, you can jump if you like, out to feet your own leg length distance. Keep it light. Turn your right foot out at 90 degrees, your left foot in at sort of 30 degrees, but you just want your toes in and your heel out. There's a yoga bite about feet alignment. Have a look if you're keen. Lift your kneecaps. Lift the front of your hips. Lift your belly. Lift your breastbone. Good, and we're going to reach the arms. Trikonasana. You already know what you're doing. We're going to lift the right fingertips, right arm, and lengthen the right arm, right body. And you're going to aim for bringing the arms to the vertical. So that's going to depend on how far you're reaching, but try to reach up with your left arm. Good. We don't want to reach so far that the bottom sticks out behind and the left shoulder tips forward. And then we lose the shape in the spine. So just feel where you've reached to and look for an evenness along both sides of the spine, an evenness along both sides of the neck. We're going to turn back the left hip, the left ribs, right ribs reach forward. Let's see if you can shine the breastbone up to the ceiling, up to the sky. Draw the thoracic spine forward. Breathe deeply. Find your feet. Trust the strength of your legs as you lift the kneecaps, lift the quadriceps, and lengthen your spine a little more. Might be a little bit more room to move. Good, and then inhale and come up. Well done. Turn your feet to the front. We're going to turn the left toes out at 90 degrees and your right foot in. We just want to line up the heel with the center of the inner arch. So we're finding the feet, trusting the strength in your legs as you lift. Good. Take your left fingertips up, lengthen, lengthen. Reaching out to the left, so right ribs reaching over the right, left ribs are reaching over the left thigh. Good, and then we're going to take the arms to the vertical. So you just find where you land, and then see if you can bring an evenness to both sides of the spine, both sides of the neck. Roll back the right hip. Let the lower back lengthen. Reach the thoracic spine forward. We'll take back the right ribs here. Bring forward the left ribs. Reaching your right arm up. Breathe deeply. Strong legs. And the length of your legs is going to start feeding into the length of the spine. And the length of the breath, fueling what you're doing. Looking up past your right thumb, only if that feels okay for your neck. Otherwise you look forward. So you're looking for that evenness, both sides of the spine, both sides of the neck. Good, and then inhale and coming up. Nicely done. Turn your feet to the front. Good, and you can jump back or heel, toe, but keep it light. Step back to Tadasana. Finding your breath. Good. Bring your hands in front of your heart. We're going to step the feet apart, your own leg length distance. Good. Turn your right toes out at 90 degrees. And we're going to repeat Trikonasana. Arms out from the heart. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to lift the right fingertips and reach any amount. Feel an evenness both sides of the spine, both sides of the neck. And let yourself reach. Find your way into the posture with your strong legs. Lift the kneecaps, lift the quadriceps. The left hip starts to roll back. The right ribs rolling forward. Feel the space around your heart as you reach your thoracic spine forward. Good, and then inhale and come up. And second side. You might have noticed on your repetition you went a little bit further. Let's see. Strong legs. Space around your heart, relaxed shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. I'm going to lift the left fingertips this time. Left arm, left ribs, and reach any amount from your strong legs through the length of your spine. Take your right arm straight up. Reach your right hip back. Lengthen your lower back, lengthen the sides of your waist. Reach the thoracic spine forward. Lift your breastbone upward to the sky. Good, and then inhale. And coming up, bring the feet back to the front. And if you want to jump, make sure you take a nice big bend in your knees to do that and really spring pelvic floor. Good. Tadasana. Find the lift in the front of the legs, your foundation of your feet, the lift in the front of the thighs, the belly, the breastbone. How does the spine sit? Let it lengthen. Let the thoracic spine reach forward. Good. You're going to just part your feet hip width. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Interlock your hands in front. I'm going to make a nice big stretch between the shoulder blades, even wiggle your shoulders a little. Good, and then we're going to start to lift the arms. When you lift your arms, you'll get to a point where it starts to squash your shoulders. So I want you to really try and keep your shoulder blades down so your neck is free. Keep lifting the front of the legs so your spine is supported. Good, and we're going to reach up as far as you can. Your upper arms might line up with your ears. We're going to press up through the index fingers. Reach the little fingers back. And feel the shoulder blades reach forward against the ribs. The lift of the breastbone. Keep your throat relaxed. Between the collarbones relaxed. Keep lifting the front of the legs strongly so the lower back is long. Let the armpits lengthen. Good, and then release. Good, and change the interlock of the fingers so the other finger is on top. Stretch out your hands. Feel that nice space, the skin stretch wide between the shoulder blades. Good, and we're going to start to take the arms up. So when the going gets tough, we want to really powerfully use the legs so the lower back is long. We want to stretch the arms as straight as we can, but keep the collarbones wide, keep the shoulder blades down so your neck doesn't get squashed or your throat squashed. And breathe. Index fingers reaching up, little fingers reaching back. Front of the legs strong. Breathe, relax your neck, relax your throat. Good, and then release. Nice work. Just release your arms down by your sides. Take your shoulders up to your ears and then roll your shoulder blades down. Nice big circles. Finish with the shoulder blades down, the chest wide and lifting. Lift the front of the legs. Let the spine balance. Enjoy the deep and satisfying breath. Great, and we're going to sit down onto the floor, and you might be practicing sitting without using your hands, or use your hands and your wisdom. So we're going to sit up onto a blanket and a triple fold, a nice flat blanket. It's just the right shape for sitting bones. Tadasana staff pose. Try and get your sit bones right at the front of your blanket. And we're going to just turn the fingers back. You can turn them forward. If you're up on your blanket, you might be like me and not quite get your hands down onto the floor. Just use your fingertips. Lift your spine. And see if you can reach your lower back a little further forward. So that's going to help you roll on the front of the sit bones. See if you can reach the thoracic spine forward. Feel the shoulder blades slide towards your back waist. Feel the lift of the breastbone as you do that. Good, and then we'll let the neck be relaxed but lengthening. Both sides stretch out through your legs, powerful legs, straight toes, reaching up. So whenever you're using your hands to support you, just make sure you don't have undue pressure on part of your hands. So we're trying to keep nice even pressure. Good, and then we're going to turn this posture into a forward bend. You want to keep that sense of your legs really reaching, your spine really reaching, and the chest being spacious. The belly being spacious, so all the organs get a chance to really function here. And when you feed them with deep breath, all the better. So to forward bend, lift. Reach the lower back forward, reach the thoracic spine forward, roll forward onto the front of the sit bones. So we're trying to tip the pelvis forward before we do anything else. And your hands can help you to reach forward. You're looking for spaciousness here. Notice as resistance starts to become really evident, and where that is in your bodies. It's different for different people. It might be the back of the legs, might be the lower back. For me, it's the front of the hips. They just seem to want to seize up and not let me reach forward. So look for where that resistance is in your body and see if you can be a little playful around that. Some people are going to find that hands in front will work better. You can hold onto your legs. Some people are reaching their feet. But again, we're in no hurry to reach forward. We're really looking for that lovely feeling of the lower back reaching forward, the middle back reaching forward. So you might be sitting up here. The length of the spine. Be really curious with every breath. Where do you feel that resistance in your body? What's stopping you from folding in half? Let yourself be a little playful around that. You might like to just wriggle a little bit either side of the spine. Find your mobility. Enjoy that discovery. Enjoy the deep breath. Even long inhalation. Long exhalation. Uttanasana. Seated forward bend, finding your way. Thoracic spine reaching forward. Good. And then inhale. And come up. And sit with crossed legs. If that's uncomfortable for your knees, you can take a wide-legged position. You might like something under your heels if you've got a hard floor like this. Just find the length of your spine. Feel the rhythm of your breath as you let it slow. And we'll turn to the left, so take your right hand to the outside of your left knee. And from last week, remembering you'll find your perception of limit just feels like the end of where you can move to. Use your breath and move into the space left in your body when you exhale. Make even more space when you inhale. Good, and then back to center. And swap the cross of your legs, other leg on top or in front. Lifting your spine and then turning to your right. Be curious about the limit of your movement. And then be playful. Is there indeed a little more room to move? Enjoying the space and the depth of your breath. Good. And then coming back to center, recentering, lifting your spine. Good. And then we'll swap the cross of the legs again. Hands behind your hips to help you lift. Reach your thoracic spine forward, shoulder blades down. Lift the breastbone, neck is relaxed. And again, we're going to turn this into a forward bend. So lengthen the belly. Relax at the front of the hips. We're trying to roll the pelvis onto the front of the sit bones. Some people have a lot of forward movement here. Some people are restricted. So honor your posture. That feeling of being able to really reach the lower back forward, the thoracic spine forward. If you have access to that forward movement, you might find hands in front are better. And just for the last moments of the pose, everybody reach your hands in front, even if you're in a more upright position, and just let your back make a big rainbow shape. So we're going to stretch all of that muscle we've really been working on. Just feel what that's like. Some people can walk their hands forward a long way here. Good, and then walking your hands back. Finding center, sitting up tall, reaching your lower back forward again, your thoracic spine forward again. Just aware of the difference of sitting with the rainbow shape in your spine and sitting with that lengthening and reaching forward, breastbone reaching up. Good, and then we'll swap the cross of the legs. We'll do one more. Hands behind the hips, gentle with your fingers. Good. Reaching the breastbone up. Roll onto the front of the sit bone. See if you can tip the pelvis forward. Lengthen the belly forward. Use your hands where it feels appropriate to help you. Proud of that feeling in your back, that ability to honor your good posture. Lower back reaching forward, thoracic spine reaching forward. Enjoying the depth of the breath. Good, and just in the last few moments, we'll make a big rainbow shape with your back. Stretching and lengthening. Reach your hands forward as far as you feel is nourishing, comforting for your back. And then walking your hands back, finding that ability you have to really reach your lower back forward, reach your thoracic spine forward, lift your breastbone. Okay. And then we'll come to lay down on our backs. Legs bent, feet hip width, parallel. Tuck your shoulder blades towards your back waist so you feel really broad across your chest. I'm going to stretch the mat by pressing the feet away and squeeze the buttock muscles together and lift as high as you can. So when you stretch the mat, you squeeze the gluteus maximus buttock muscles. You're going to feel like your legs can lift you powerfully. Keep the back of your neck long, your throat relaxed, lift your sternum. Your hands are down onto the mat, palms down, and we're going to have the arms about parallel. So they're not out to the side. We're trying to keep them in by the sides of the body. So keep squeezing, keep stretching the mat, good. And we're going to keep doing that even though you're going to lower down. It'll really wake up the legs. Feel where your spine rests down onto the floor. Relax your muscular work in your legs and buttocks. And you might sense the lower back arch just lifting away from the floor. You might sense that space between the shoulder blades supported onto the floor and the little curve of the neck away from the floor. Your natural curves. Good, and then one more of those. Stretch your mat by pressing your feet down and away from you. Squeeze your buttock muscles together And really, with those powerful legs, lift high, lift the front of the hips, lengthen the belly, lift the sternum. So arms are parallel. We'll just press down gently through the hands here. So keep squeezing, pressing the feet away from you, stretching the mat. Keep the back of your neck long, your throat relaxed. Breathe. Lift. You're holding your knees so that your legs are parallel. Good work. Keep squeezing, keep stretching the mat as you lower down, bone by bone. And then let go of that muscular work. You might like to bring your hands onto your belly, just enjoying the shape of your back. The breath that reaches right down into the abdomen. And then release your arms so they're out by your sides, palms up. Make sure you feel really wide between your shoulder blades. You've got room between the sides of your chest and your upper arms so your armpits can relax. Feel the breath moving in your lungs and your ribs. Deep and satisfying. Good, and then we're going to lay out for Shavasana. Take the support that you know you need. That might be a blanket under your head and your neck, but make sure your shoulders are on the floor. And you can take a blanket under your thighs if you're a little tender in your lower back. Or take your legs out too straight. Just check you've got lots of nice room for the length of your spine, the width of your back. And then just let your legs roll out. You can pause the video if you like and stay here for as long as you need. Let your focus move from your discovery of the breath in your chest and ribs to discovering the movement of each breath in your whole body, so your feet and your legs, your hips and your belly and your back. Your armpits and your shoulders, your arms and your hands. Back of your neck and throat. Base of your skull, scalp, forehead, face. Your tongue, your jaw, and your ears. And in that breath, you can let your body let go. Let go. Take the feeling of the practice with you when you're ready to roll to your right. Namaste.